Hey internets, it's Rev, and this week we've got a riot from coast to coast. Lumino City starts us off right. We've got news from the IndideNomiCon, nominate the Indie Game of the Year, and we delve into the emotional journey of toasted wheat products. Oh, and a special guest, Muyskerm of YouTube fame, joins us for an interview and the rest of the show. Get your Molotovs and baseball bats ready, guys. It's episode 30 of Indie Game Riot.
Indie Game Riot! Hey everybody, this is JaShinYa, and yes, this is episode 30. Look at us, just hurtling towards middle-aged numbers. And we have a very special guest on the show, but first, before we get to him, because we're rude, let's talk to Tech, because we never get to hear enough from Tech.
Yeah, you guys never hear enough from me. So this recording, I show up late because one of the drivers at the Pizza Hut that I work at.
You're just a consultant.
And he was he was the closing driver. So his car was all sorts of messed up. And so I was scheduled till 10, but I keep telling him, don't schedule me on Fridays past a certain time. I have another job, and so that's why I was late. And Rev had an awesome intro in this episode, and it really got me thinking, because while Josh and I were setting up the site, and Rev helped too, while I was setting up the site, we basically had to take all of these old episodes that we had and put them on the website in various different places. And so, you'd listen to them, and especially the newer ones, I wanted to make sure that they were all in order, and I wasn't posting episode 5 on episode 3's page and all that. And you'd hear the intros, and the intros were boring. And then, slowly our intros get more and more, crazy and fun and entertaining until, now we've got, these sprawling intros that tell you all these things and are really just cool to listen to. So we've gone on a journey, guys.
Right? Wow.
What about you, Rev?
That was deep.
Why'd your voice break right there?
Because I'm sick as a fucking dog. Okay, 2 days ago, I'm sitting at work. I am on the phone with a client, and we're discussing some $60,000 purchase that he's wanting me to build for him, and I'm telling him it's a dumb idea. Jesse, my Twitter handle is at Reverend DS. So I'm on the phone with this client, and we're talking $60,000 sale that I'm trying to convince this guy we don't want to do, and all of a sudden, my sinuses in my skull popped.
Your sinuses? You have sinuses other places?
Yes. Yes, I do. There's the ones right behind the nose, and then there's the ones that are up in your forehead. And the one up in the forehead, I felt it pop, and then all of a sudden I'm just gushing snot everywhere. And it's been 2 days. And it's horrible. So my voice is going. I'm sucking down cough drops. At the moment, I'm 2 beers in, and my wife's bringing me some whiskey, and we'll see what we can do. So that's what's new with me. What's new with you, Josh?
Well, what's new with me? First of all, yeah, like Tech said, we launched our brand new website thanks to the Indiegogo campaign contributions. When was that? October it ended, and we have that new website up and everything. We've been working on that.
IndieGameRiot.com.
IndieGameRiot.com. Yeah. My Twitter, Jesse, in the chat is at JaShinYa, JaShinYa. Oh, by the way, I know we haven't even introduced Bob yet, but Bob, the vlog that you did to tell everyone about the show, you got it right. Nice job. Most people are like, JaShinYa?
JaShinYa?
Well, it's kind of funny you say that, because I've known Josh for since 2006, 2006 to 2007, and it took me 6 months on this forum that we were part of, where I'm just like, oh, I get it. That's clever.
That's when it suddenly clicks, and we're like, oh. But anyway, and the last thing is that Rev, you gifted us copies of Crypt of the Necrodancer, and I hold you solely responsible for the death of the what little I have left of my social life. Because I'm now officially addicted to that game.
It's also the death of me writing articles for the site.
It really
because I've just been like, I want to play Necrodancer. I should record Necrodancer.
When I added my own music to that game, it was over.
Wait.
That was the thing we talked about on the show, Tech.
I
like Tech listens to what we talk about on the show,
and
he doesn't even listen
realized, you can do that again. Oh my god. But I'm having so much fun listening to actually.
Anyway, the last thing is we have a special guest. You heard him like a minute ago. His name is Bob AKA Muyskerm. You can find him on YouTube because he is a famous celebrity on YouTube. Also, congratulations on almost hitting 160,000 subscribers.
Yes, thank you.
There you go. What's been up with you, Bob?
Well, honestly, nothing. Not even YouTube. This week, I am in law school. My followers who watch my blogs probably know because I bitch about it all the time. But I am in law school right now, and the current 2-week time period that we're in the middle of is finals. So I had a final yesterday afternoon and this morning, and I have one on Monday, and I have Thursday and Friday next week, and they're mostly really hard. So I literally yesterday I woke up at 6 and studied all morning, took a final, studied until 1:30 or 2 in the morning, woke up today at 6, took a final, and have been sort of vegging out because it's Friday. But I'm gonna have to get up tomorrow morning and record a YouTube video of some sort. I haven't posted one recently, and then continue studying. So that's like the only thing.
Your fans are gonna have pitchforks out pretty soon. Well, that's awesome.
It is finals, so hopefully they'll be understanding, and good luck to you on your finals.
Well, if you start falling asleep, while you're studying for your finals, you could always give yourself an indie news injection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an indie news injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
And this week, Indie News Injection. First up, we have the follow-up to last week. IndiesVsPewDiePie, the winners of the Game Jam on GameJolt.io. Link in the description. It is done by voting. There were 778 games that managed to make it through the censors after they eliminated all of the really super horrible ones. Number 1 was Lord of the Horde by Sloth Machine. It looks to be a 4X type, kind of quasi old school Flash game where you're shooting the zombies or trying to bypass the zombies, as it were, or the defenses as the zombies. Sorry, I haven't had time to play it yet. Ranked number 2, Kid vs. School by JCCC. Have no idea what that's about, but you should check it out as well. Dance Dance PewDiePie. Overpowered.
I'm surprised that Dance Dance PewDiePie made 3. Because we talked about I don't have time to play all these games because we had all the other games to deal with, but either that's how the game looks or they picked a terrible thumbnail. But we talked about all those games from last week. We talked about all the games because by the way, for those you don't know, in this Game Jam there were 903 games entered, but then it got knocked down to 778 because that's how many got basically thrown out because of offensiveness or just complete BS or whatever was put into it. And this looks like one of those
some of these lower ranked games, like they're still in the top 100, right? But some of these look way more interesting than like the top.
I was just looking at Skydogs.
Spacescape is kind of interesting.
Skydogs, the art is phenomenal.
Yeah, that screenshot they picked looks fantastic.
Yeah. How about Let's Play Tycoon?
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah. But there, I think part of it has to do just with like a popularity contest type of thing too.
That might have been, but still, like, some of these just look fantastic. So, link in the description. Moving right along, because of bad scheduling. So, for those of you that know what Advent is, I didn't. I actually had to look it up. But there is Advent of the Indies. 2014. We're currently in the third day of Advent.
Fourth. No, fifth.
Fifth? What?
Yeah, we're it's
the website says 3.
No, the website, we are on the 5th.
We're on the 6th.
6th, yes.
Mother.
Yeah. We know math and numbers.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Damn it.
So 5, 6, moving right along. Okay, so number 6 is Might and Delight. I prepped everything for number 3 because that's what the link said. Adventoftheindies.com 2014. You should check it out. And it's a different indie game every day of Advent. Let
me shout out number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nicholas. We were talking about him the other day, I think. I can't remember. Oh, no. We
talked about Nick Stories on another episode.
Live stream.
No,
we were talking to Jay about it. Anyway.
We talked about Knit Stories in a free fun segment.
Yeah, like episode 2 or 3.
I think it was 3. But Advent for Rev, who I'm surprised you didn't know. Advent, there's like Advent calendars where you get to like pop open little doors and pull out candy every day up until Christmas. It's the same concept.
That sounds like a Tuesday to me.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like
I said candy, not pills.
Me Productions. They did Last of the Tinker. The Last Tinker, we talked about that.
Yeah. Last of the... yeah, I know what you're talking about. And it is by, I don't know if you said that, Rev, but Rat King, their game developer themselves, actually, I think day 3 or 4 has one of their games for free. You can actually get an actual game on, but it's only on Desura, so, you know, that sucks.
But they are doing, they're usually, for each day of Advent, excuse me, they have the game itself, and then they also have some kind of freebie that goes along with it. Like today's is the 6th in the game, you know, Might and Delight is the thing, I guess. The game is Shelter. Their website is horrible. You can win the game Shelter.
You win the games that come each day from the developers, but there's a freebie. Usually it's like a soundtrack or maybe another smaller game that they created, or, you know, something like that. Since Rev is apparently terrible at Advent.
Yeah.
I was not Catholic.
You don't have to be. I'm not Catholic either. You don't have to. It's
I
like
don't
a
know
Christmas
any
thing.
It's
It's
the closest I've got is I dated somebody whose mom was a nun.
You walk through a store, you can see an Advent calendar.
Yeah.
I don't shop.
Maybe not. Yeah, that's true. You don't fly either.
Right.
But in other news, The Old City, which is a game we talked about in a previous episode, it has finally released on Steam in its beautiful atmospheric glory.
Man.
To very positive, or at least as Steam says, positive reviews. Currently, it is on sale for 25% off. Normally, it's $14.99. You can get it for $11.24 until December 10th. And, you know, obviously, you know, we talked about this game before. It is phenomenal, and you should definitely buy it.
I think that was episode 2 or 3 as well.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
The point is, wait until after the sale ends and then buy it at full price to support awesome indie development. Or if you're broke as fuck, buy it on sale.
Exactly.
And that is by Postmod Softworks on Steam. We're the only curator who has reviewed it, which is kind of cool.
I wish more people would review it. They deserve a lot more. But speaking of people who deserve a lot more, this is actually a pretty small convention that's been growing. This is their second annual game expo. It's called the IndideNomiCon, taking place in Florida. They actually do kind of like mini conventions for game devs every month, but every year they do a large game expo, and this is the second one. So for those of you in Florida or planning to go down to Florida or have money out the ass and you can just fly down to Florida anytime you want, go to IndideNomiCon. You'll meet lots of indie devs, play lots of probably early development. I always get those words mixed up. Early development indie games. And I think I just told Rev's thing, but you know what? Screw you.
You know what? It's in downtown Orlando at the Public Library, Saturday, December 6th. So for those of you listening live, that's good for you. For those of you that are listening to the recorded version, sucks to be you. From noon until 5 p.m. Go check it out.
Sucks to be you, just like Bob said.
Yeah.
That made me laugh, by the way, Bob.
Well, those are the jokes, man. That's my A material.
Just those are the jokes, man. Just sucks to be you, viewer.
Sucks to be you. So
okay.
Laugh at it. I don't know where I was going with that.
So,
that's the joke. There it is.
Speaking of sucks to be whoever, sucks to be Isaac in Binding of Isaac, because his life really sucks. If you haven't played the game, Isaac has a overzealously Christian mother, I guess you would say, who hates him for whatever reason. Basically, it's a roguelike game that you kind of dungeon crawl and have to make your way through with upgrades and everything like that. It's recently had an update or an expansion or a sequel, whatever you want to call it, really, called Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and it's actually getting another update very soon. When is it coming out? Ed McMillan said he has big plans for the expansion. There's going to be a huge chunk of gameplay, a new game mode, double the amount of things you can do, everything like that. So keep an eye out for a new update to Binding of Isaac. For those of you who own it, if you don't own it, go buy it.
Now, this next piece of news sort of hit really fast, and then there was a pretty fast response. Microsoft indie developers for the Xbox, I think it's just the 360. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I had to go unlock the door for my girlfriend in the middle of the segment. So, yeah, there you go.
I was really confused. I was like, "Are you okay?"
That's why I said, "Be right back." No. So basically, the report was that they had been Microsoft had not been paying some of their developers for their September sales, and that they weren't going to get those payments before Christmas. Yeah, and this wasn't all of the developers, but apparently it was at least some.
You want to catch your breath, man?
Yeah, no, I got this. It was at least some, and then once Microsoft got word of this, they released a statement. Due to a technical issue in our payment system, we recently learned that some payments to select developers in the Xbox Live Indie Games program on Xbox 360 were delayed. Our partners are important to us, and we work hard to make sure that they have a great development experience. This is an unfortunate error, and we'll be working to fix it. We apologize for this incident and anticipate developers will receive payments within the next 2 weeks, which I think this happened on Wednesday.
With interest. They better pay them with interest, those sons of bitches.
Definitely. So I think that'll be around the week of the 15th, possibly the 8th.
All that money went
That
into
is approximately 2 weeks.
all that money went into Mojang. They just couldn't afford it for them.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, Mojang isn't indie anymore, so they can pay them whenever. So they can pay them on time. Yeah, it looks like that the payments are over 64 days late. And a full payment, so that's 19 days later than the acceptable period that Microsoft is given.
I didn't know there was an acceptable period.
Yeah, that's apparently part of their
own acceptable period. Right? So.
We accept that we're late.
Subject to change.
You want to give the next one to Rev just because you're like almost passed out? Or?
No, I'm good. I'm actually.
All right.
So IndieDB has a new top 100 most popular games. This is user-generated stats where people vote on.
Well, this is like their award, their best indie game of the year award for IndieDB. They do this every year.
And so it's user-generated. So number 1 right now, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Number 2 is Five Nights at Freddy's. 3 is Gang Beasts. 4 is Mountain Blade Warband, which is that indie?
Okay.
Yeah. Close enough.
They consider it indie, apparently.
It's a great game. Like I've had a lot of fun playing the simulator.
I'm a little confused though why I feel like they shouldn't let, because I see like number 15 is Amnesia. Why they would let an older game be a part of this list. And Minecraft's on here, even though it's not. But it's still a really cool idea, and actually,
Dragon Age 3.
What?
Inquisition. What?
What? Where?
That's number 22.
23 on mine.
All right. Well, there's issues here, obviously, but anyway,
Right.
if you want a specific indie game to win IndieDB's Indie Game of the Year 2014 award, go check out the link in the description, or for those of you in the chat that are watching live, click the link and go vote for your favorite.
Now here's something, just as something for the chat and the live audience. Sorry, people who are listening to the recorded version. You can do this too if you're listening to the recorded version.
Sucks to be you.
Go down to number 62, StarMade. Now I bought StarMade when you didn't have to buy it, like probably 2 years ago, and it's basically.
You bought it when you didn't have to buy it?
Well, so you could play the game for free.
It was like a name your own price.
No, it was and now my cat's in here. Everything's going to hell. I have to throw her out soon. It's basically
He's talking about his girlfriend.
because it was in it was in beta, or you could buy like the founder pack, which was like $4.99, and so I was like, I'm making plenty of money at this time. Let's do this. And so it's basically like Minecraft in space. And you can make really cool. It's kind of like a lower graphical version of Space Engineers.
Okay.
But I really liked that game, and I'm really happy to see it on the list.
Cool.
Towns is on this list. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Towns is 66.
Let's just assume that they're going to get that shit worked out.
Yeah, definitely.
But speaking of actually indie games of the year, right now as we speak, please don't leave the stream. But right now as we speak, the Video Game Awards that has taken over the VGX, thank God, is actually going on, and they have one of the categories is Best Independent Game of the Year. The 5 nominees that they have for the why can I not think of words? For the thing is Broken Age Act 1 by Double Fine, Monument Valley by Us 2, Shovel Knight Yacht Club Games, Transistor by Supergiant Games, and our very own Bob obviously has played Transistor the whole way through, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter by the Astronauts. I think I'm Rev. You said before the show that you would vote for Shovel Knight. I think that's my vote too. I really like Yacht Club Games. What about you, Tech?
You know, I'm weird because yes, Shovel Knight's awesome, but I don't like, and it's winning so many things that I'm almost like, maybe you should vote for someone else.
Actually,
what they deserve, and what were you gonna say, Rev?
No, I was gonna say I think I agree with him on that. Like
really?
Shovel Knight is out of the entire list and the ones that I've played, because I haven't played Broken Age.
Yeah, I don't think Broken Age.
Well, a lot of people are complaining about Broken Age. I'm surprised.
I would actually change my vote to The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
I would vote. I think I would vote for Transistor because the gameplay's new.
Yeah, I got to deal with a couple of hipsters on this show.
Like, well, no, because
Shovel Knight's won too many games. I think I'm over it.
Shovel Knight does what it does perfectly. It is it is nostalgic. It is, pure, hack and slash fun.
Platform.
Nintendo hard.
Yeah, platform. Yeah, exactly. But like it didn't bring anything new to the table, but it was a really fun game. So like, yes, obviously
they did it fantastically. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Phenomenal job. But like Transistor, I felt brought more to the table. And was it a Bastion? I don't think so.
No.
But either way, any of these games, except for Broken Age, in my opinion, would deserve to win.
Well, someone in the chat said that Broken Age was amazing. So
yeah,
your opinion is void now.
Okay, all right.
So Bob, which one would you vote for?
Well, honestly, I'm not familiar with all of these. I enjoyed Shovel Knight. I mean, I basically share the same opinion as you guys.
That's used guys, you know what I'm saying?
It has a really good, just like well done platformer thing going on, and it's hard not to have fun playing it. But I was blown away by Transistor. I liked the art, but I also thought that the gameplay, I mean, you can play it the way that I played it in my Let's Play, which is just like, hey, I know this one combination, and I can just run around and haphazardly run past, but there's so much in that, the system, the upgrade system, and the combining the I forget what they're even called, the things you combine to make your attacks and stuff. Like, yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. You could play it 5 times back to back to back to back to back, and you could do a different thing each time. I thought it was pretty sweet in that way.
So Transistor to get your
yeah, right. Well, and Vanishing of Ethan Carter, I know nothing about, but that art is intriguing.
It looks beautiful, and there are a lot of videos of it. I think Yogscast did it. I'm not sure. Someone, or maybe it was Jessica. But anyway, yeah. So I think if IGR were to vote, Transistor would win. However,
only because we're voting democratically.
Oh, that was the last thing. That was the last thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know who else is a winner?
Who's that?
Bob. Bob, you're a winner. Aren't you, Bob?
Poor bastard.
What did I win?
You won a seat on Indie Game Riot. I'm sorry. So Bob, you're actually here to be a guest, but we also have some questions for you. We're going to do an interview with Bob AKA Muyskerm. By the way, you can I'm going to mention at the end of the show, and there's going to be a link in the description, but you can check out his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Muyskerm, Muyskerm. So go check it out. For everyone in the live chat, I'm sure they already know the link, but that's okay. As Red's pacing in, you didn't know. But anyway, we're going to do kind of a round robin thing like we do with everyone we interview. I'll go first since my name is first because I got to it first, so screw you guys.
So a bit of metacasting here. Josh sends out the notes, like he compiles. He's like, "This is our outline," and really it's just copy and paste, and then we just kind of add shit to it until we're ready to record. And whenever we do an interview, like he gets this, he's like, "Questions for our interview person. You should add them to it." But like we get it by the time Tech and I get to the show notes, Josh has got all of his there, and it's like, well, I could ask him about his shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Like Rev and I get questions out tomorrow really well.
Hey guys, can you get your questions out today? This tomorrow.
Sure.
Oh, and just as a cool other feature to encourage people to come to the live stream, if you guys have any questions, we might ask them to Bob.
And I might read them in chat. I'm trying to keep up with chat.
Yeah.
So there you go.
How about my first question? Guys, Bob, you play a part in the indie game community as a consumer and on the press side via your YouTube channel. We like to ask, like, what, because we love the indie community, what are some of the best experiences you've had within the community as in both of those roles?
Well, I'm still pretty new to the YouTube thing, so it's still exciting for me when I get emails from people, or when I played Don't Starve Together recently. It's in closed beta, and I just happened to have a friend who had a key who like had an in and had some extra, and I just got to play this game, and I loved Don't Starve. I don't really have much of it on my channel because I'm bad at it. And people didn't enjoy watching that, but I find it really interesting how in the indie game community, all the developers are kind of just like, yeah, if you want to test my game, like, let me know what you think. You can put it on your channel. Like, it's not, I don't know, it's very friendly. And just the other day, I did a recording session on a game that's like in pre-development. It's called Due Process.
Oh, we talked about that
game. Yeah. You got to play it?
Yeah, I know Baron Von Games is a fellow YouTuber that I've got hooked up with. He knows the devs. And we played with some YouTubers and some devs, and they actually had to like manage the server. Like in game, they were like, "Oh, the server's going down." And because it's at that point still. But they were so cool to hang out with, and we got to record it. And I'm gonna be hopefully editing that together and putting it up on my channel.
Definitely
it's
just
it's so fascinating to play these games that are like. And the same thing happened with Trove. Trove has gotten a lot bigger since the first time I played it. But to watch the games grow and see these guys who are like, I have this idea, and
it's just kind of blossoms.
It's gonna happen, and they figure out how to make it work. It's really cool.
Baron Von Guy, you should hook us.
What's up? I was gonna because like we talked about, what was it, like 17 or 18, I think.
We were really excited about that game.
Oh my god! Like, and every single person I tell like, you have to check this game out. Like this is the game. Yeah.
It is as good as it looks too. I will say we had a slew, a variety of issues because it's procedurally generated. There were some issues with that system, and it's in pre-development. What are you gonna do? And through everything, even with the recording issues that caused and everything, it was just like awesome. It was the best shooter I've played in a long time. I could not stop smiling the entire time. And that does not happen. There are a lot of recording sessions I have sat through where I'm smiling at the camera, but I'm crying inside because it sucks in the game, whatever. So I am so excited for that game to keep.
Oh man,
I do have
keep
to
going.
I do have to ask, though, and this isn't an actual interview question, but just because you mentioned the game, while you were playing Due Process, as you guys are drawing out your plan, did you draw a penis?
That is the absolute first thing that I
did. Genital Simulator. Wait,
2015. Genital Drawing Simulator 2014. 15, whenever it's releasing. So because we're on the sort of the YouTube, I guess, topic with the reviews, what are your opinions, both as a gamer and as a YouTuber, of the made for YouTubers games that are made to be fun or ridiculous to watch, but offer odd, challenging, or sometimes bad gameplay or control, like Surgeon Simulator, Octodad, a game that we're talking about. Goat Simulator, I'll include that. But also in a game that we're talking about later, I am Toast.
I am Bread.
I am Bread.
There we go.
Yeah.
Be Toast. So what do you think of those?
I am a peculiar gamer. I really enjoy stuff like that. I don't know how famous QWOP is. I have absolutely no idea. But QWOP, it's like an online running simulator, basically. and the controls are just like completely ridiculous. But I have put so many hours into sitting, and I do it like when I'm taking study breaks or if I'm just watching a boring TV show that I don't want to change the channel or whatever. I put so many hours into trying to figure out how to get over that goddamn hurdle at the 50-meter mark on QWOP. I've done it like once, and then I screwed it up before I finished the race or whatever. But I really enjoy games where the controls are like fighting you. I enjoy trying to like figure out what the hell it wants, and so I think I appreciate that's maybe the average gamer or a lot of gamers like to enjoy the experience of a game and a story of some sort or what. But I think those games that are like just sort of technical fuckeries, where it's it's like this isn't even anything, but I just want to get better at it. I love that. So
I like how you're like, time to relax, to get away from school and all the stress. Let's play a rage game.
Well, that's the thing. I don't rage at it either. I'll go like half an hour playing QWOP and not get past 10 meters sometimes, and it's just like I know I can do this.
It's like chess.
I can't. My rage.
At least you can get that far. I don't think I've ever made it past like the half-meter mark.
I've been able to get where he's like on the ground. You can sort of hop him a little bit, but
yeah.
Never.
It always devolves to the completely spread legs. Yeah. Maybe if I just scoot an inch at a time.
All right. Well, next question. Slightly more serious note. How much would you estimate that you have spent in terms of money, time, broken relationships, whatever, cars, during the course of your YouTube career?
Broken relationship.
Honestly, it's hard to say. It's hard to attribute much of it to YouTube specifically.
Okay.
Because the computer that I had back in the day before I did YouTube, I had a friend. I have a friend. He's still my friend. Who's a computer?
He's in my closet.
He's a computer engineer, and I built like a budget gaming rig on like a medium tower. It was like a $480 computer all told. But I've always been into gaming, and I've always had so many Xbox games or 360 games or whatever games like that I haven't played in 4 years, but I refuse to sell because I hoard my games. And I probably have spent more on like microphones and cameras than I ever would have in the rest of my life. But in terms of money, I would have bought all the games that I've bought anyway, just to play them. And in relationships, it was tough. My now wife, then girlfriend and fiance, over the span of time, we've always lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and we still do. And so, like, the hardest part is trying to find times and places where I can record, and she's not trying to live.
I feel you, brother.
Also in the same space. And we had some tensions in the beginning when I was, especially the first things I ever recorded were Drunk Minecraft. And so it would be like 4 o'clock on a Thursday, and I would just get,
would be really
like,
good.
Good and drunk and start yelling, and
Sunday
my desk
penis.
was yeah. and you know, she didn't appreciate that, because who would appreciate that if you?
I appreciate it, Bob. It's so cool.
But honestly, I probably would have a pretty similar life in terms of video games and stuff. It would just be much more private.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel you on that too. Because I mean, even when I was doing Let's Plays, I stopped now because I told you I have kids, and we're living in a really small apartment too. And even with the podcast, I don't know if anyone heard earlier in the show, but my daughter just came barging in, and so there's that always I have to deal with. But
I'm telling you, Tylenol PM.
Just put some whiskey in the milk.
That's Rev and Tech talking. Please don't call CPS. But so, speaking of, like, you know, things kind of like clashing and everything like that, you go to law school. How does that kind of mesh with your YouTube career? Like, when you graduate law school, you know, do your bar exam or whatever, what does that mean for the future of your channel?
Oh, well, by the time I graduate law school, I'm probably gonna have like 2 or 3 million subscribers, so I'll just be living the life. No,
It's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, the dream obviously is to turn into the next PewDiePie, but still be a human being in my regular life. But honestly, I don't. It's kind of like day to day as to what the plans are for the future. If I can have a career doing YouTube and make, you know, enough actual money that I can pay bills and the things you have to do when you're a fully certified adult, I would love to do that, but it doesn't really pan out that way for most people, as far as I've seen. I happen to be friends with Markiplier, and you know, it really panned out for him, but that is rare, and it's hard to do, and it's hard to manage.
Right.
It has not been easy on him personally. You know, moving to LA sucked, but that's kind of the sort of thing you do when you get into the show business sort of stuff and you want to actually grow your career. It's so I don't have any plans set in stone, but as far as day to day, it's like a constant battle to get myself to do one thing or the other. Some days I'm all about studying, and I really do enjoy law school, and I think law is really fascinating. And some days all I want to do is just sit down and grind on my gunslinger and just play like 9 hours of Trove. And so it's sort of whatever mood I'm in sometimes, but it's hard to manage the time is the problem, and I'm awful at time management.
I think a lot of people are with you with that too. And before we move on to Tech's next question, someone asked in the chat, what's the scariest game you've ever played?
Oh, well, I am an absolute pansy, and I can't do like scary movies, scary games. So I have played Five Nights at Freddy's and Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I played them on like live streams on different occasions. I have never actually posted a video, but I think the streams might be up on my Twitch or somewhere. If you watch it, you'll see one of my reactions to any of the jump scares. I like absolutely lose my shit and my headphones fall off, and I just can't even handle it. So that's the scariest game I've chosen to play. But
did you ever kill your roommate's snake?
That's a Rev story in one of our previous episodes. Go listen to it if you're curious. But
yeah, definitely.
I know what you mean. Like Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is that's one of those games like you know it's coming. Even like you can't open the door. You lift up your computer, and then you're like, okay, it's gonna come. I know it's coming, but it somehow always gets you no matter what. Oh man. Go ahead, Tech. Sorry, I wanted to get that in there.
So we now know that you have a, let's say, eclectic repertoire of enjoyable games to you that you like to play. So what really, like, just going more into the meat of it, what draws you to a game that you've never played? Like, do you look at something like, oh, that gameplay looks interesting, like with QWOP, or it's like, oh, this art is phenomenal, or maybe you have been following this developer for a really long time. It's like, oh man, they've gone through so many hardships. Like, you know, I want to support this game. Like, what like makes you take that extra step and buy a game?
It's kind of really a mixed bag, I guess. The main thing that I appreciate in gaming is kind of what I was talking about with the rage games and co-op and stuff. I really appreciate like I don't even know how to say this, the technical side of gaming. What I play to relax at home, honestly, I play NHL 14 or 15, whatever the newest one is, on the Xbox.
You hate yourself, don't you?
I like sports games I like too. Hockey. I appreciate hockey as a sport. So I enjoy hockey. I have a favorite team. I'm a Red Wings fan.
Sorry,
but it's that? Like must have been some jerk. But it's like that, you know, mastering like what does the AI learn? Because the AI is pretty good in the new one. So like, how can I trick the AI? Different schemes I can use. The actual controls themselves. It's very like.
So you like,
I don't know, meditative.
You like
I get
scheming.
into this thing where I'll just play like 6 NHL games and I just sit there and it's like I zone out, and I appreciate that a lot in games. So that's something that I am drawn towards. But like with Transistor, it was the art. I saw the art and I heard like the song, that the original music they had, and I was like, well, I gotta at least try it.
Super
and then
Giant's
obviously it turned out to be great. Yeah. But yeah.
Did you ever play Kerbal Space Program?
I love KSP. I'm awful at it because I'm ignorant as to what an apoapsis is or a periapsis or what. But I love to build things that look ridiculous and see how far they'll fly.
I feel like that's what everybody does in Kerbal Space Program.
Did you see the video of the guys that managed to get the their plane thingy to go by mounting machine guns backwards?
Oh my gosh!
It was like they just like built this plane, and then, like the only propulsion is all of these machine guns that point backwards.
That's great.
Yeah, if you want to really feel like a complete ignoramus, you guys should check out. Oh man, there's this Scottish guy who does KSP videos.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I know what you're talking about.
He has like long-term mission plan. I mean, if you look at like his galaxy from far away, he has like satellites on every moon. He's got like research drones for going. He's like, I mean, he's a
Scott Manley
engineer. Scott Manley, yes. He actually works in like rocket science of some sort. He does.
So he's just like, this is how I.
Well, yeah, and he'll just talk about it. He's like, I did some quick calculations, and I need to have a periapse of this, and I'm going to catch a gravity boost from the moon, and I'm going to get gravity boost from some other planet to ultimately get to this planet. And it's like, oh my gosh.
Why isn't he in space?
Yeah, really? Well, I think he sends people to space. Is the impression. I don't know if he's ever talked about it, but he's that game is really fascinating the way he plays it, because it's like too intense for me.
Where are we on Rev right now?
Yeah,
I think I was enjoying the story. I'm okay with skipping my question.
All right, goodbye.
Actually, I have somebody in chat actually wanted to know what does Mandy, whom I assume is your fiance now wife, if I caught that correctly, think about your ideas for the future in terms of your YouTube career?
It's funny, the person who asked that's gone now.
Well, it sucks to be them.
If it's too personal, let me put it this way. If it's too personal, it's fine.
Actual question.
That's why I didn't ask.
I think she's on the same page as me. It's sort of like, if there's money in it, you know, maybe it'll work. But it's not a job if you don't earn a salary. So it's kind of a problem with student loans and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in that case, here's my real question. What specifically brought you to focus on independent games and independent developers for your channel, as opposed to doing the more mainstream AAA route?
I think you only have like one AAA game, right? That's The Last of Us that you play, or did I miss one?
And even that's not really super AAA.
I think that's probably my one. As far as I can't even remember, but I mean, I think it's just like, when I think about what do I want to put on the channel, and I do enjoy. I mean, I play Battlefield 4. I don't play the new COD, but Call of Duty is the series that I played the original of and got me into gaming. COD 4, Modern Warfare, I put like I don't know, a couple months of game time into that over my college career instead of studying. So I do play those games, but I just think like I'm not going to have interesting or unique things to say. I'm not going to have funny reactions. You're not going to, everyone knows, who cares what Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, whatever the new one, how it plays, what it's like. So I enjoy those kind of games for what they are, but I just don't think anyone wants to see another guy play it, mostly.
Now, as far as just your channel is concerned, you kind of... I'm trying to think of how to word this to make it so you're not repeating yourself. Can you give us an exclusive, like an IGR exclusive, about any future LPs or events or any kind of goals you have for the channel that you'd like to start putting out or anything like that? Haven't thought that far?
Nothing concrete. I'm working with a site called 99 Gamers. That's like a game exchange kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Where I'm doing like a sponsored deal kind of thing, where I'm doing a monthly video. And this month I am getting a couple trilogies. I bought the BioShock trilogy, and I also got the Mass Effect trilogy, which I have played all of the Mass Effect games. But as I just happen to get, I'm trying to do like themes for that video, and so I happen to get those. And I'm thinking about doing like all of one of those trilogies or all of both of them. Because I love Mass Effect, and I've never played... I played BioShock 1. I've not played 2 or Infinite.
Mass Effect's going to be a massive series, too.
I know. Well, yeah, and I was thinking it would have to be, like, hour-long episodes and, like, only do the story and just try and get to the end kind of thing. But those... I want to play both of those, so if I can figure out a way to do it, that would be fun.
Okay. That sounds like a lot of fun. Just for like when you have a plan for like a video series, and they're fun games, so that definitely helps out.
Tag, it's your turn.
I know.
Okay.
So, that's text interjection.
Everyone knows that the big popular thing for a while on the internet is like angry, negative reviews about games, and so what is your opinion on the negativity or the tendency to review bad games? Like, do you think it's too widespread? Do you think people aren't being harsh enough? Is that just sort of a niche that, some people care about and some people don't?
I honestly don't go in for that kind of stuff too much, but it seems to me from I've seen videos, obviously, they're all over the place, but it seems to me like that's just sort of playing to an audience.
Yeah.
Like, and it might be the people. I know people who would probably love to just go, do rants and talk about games that they hate or things that they hate. And I don't know. I think it's just a certain kind of audience that, it's fun to totally bash something that you're, disconnected from. It's not a person or something. It's just like, oh, it's, it sucks. It's awful. Look at this. It's hilarious. It's entertaining to do, but I don't think I think it has its place, but it's not anything. I don't know. It's not on my radar very much, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Next up, and this is my last actual question, since I no longer ask the genital question. How would you say that your personality, as it comes across in your videos, has changed over time?
I think the biggest thing is I figured out how to talk to myself. I don't think that I, as a person, have changed in terms of what I actually think or the jokes I try and make, but it's hard to figure out, especially because I only recorded with other people before I was on YouTube. I only recorded with friends, and it's hard to figure out what to say to yourself. In a lot of my early videos, there are just times where in my head I'm thinking like, oh, look at that, look over there, that building, the sun glinting off the windows is really interesting. And if I would just say it out loud, it's probably what I do now, but it's hard to talk to a camera like you're talking to another person.
Yeah.
One thing I think when I do my Let's Plays, and then when I see a lot of other YouTubers do it too, I don't know why I'm giving you tips because you're already pretty successful, but like I like it when it's kind of like you're bringing someone on a journey with you. It's like almost like talking to someone when you're on a road trip. You know what I mean? That's kind of, I always like that kind of thing.
I've actually recently found that I have like the opposite issue almost, where it's like I'll be talking and then my mouth will be doing something while I'm playing the game and recording, and then all of a sudden my brain will think of something really funny, and in my head I'm like, oh, that's really funny, I'm glad I said that, and then I'll watch the video back and be like, oh yeah, this is where I make that joke. Why didn't I make that joke? I know that I said that joke. Where is it? Where is it? It's just happened to
a lot of your body parts are disconnected, Tech.
Yeah, exactly.
So some of the indie games that you played are on your channel: Don't Starve, Transistor, and Trove, which was actually, from what I've seen, is the first gameplay you've ever uploaded on your channel. And it's like one of your longest series running at the moment. But what about Trove specifically drove you to choose it
as your launch?
Yeah, or even to play?
Well, honestly, I originally I was thinking like I wanted to play a lot of Minecraft just because I enjoy Minecraft, and I was thinking about, you know, how that might play, what I could do that would make it unique, and it's pretty hard to find something that's not on YouTube in regards to Minecraft. So I was like, well, how could I be different? And so I sort of I found Trove because it looked like a Minecraft butt game. Like it had a twist, but it looked a lot like Minecraft. It had that cube world sort of look. And so I played it originally just as like substitute for Minecraft. But the thing that kept it going is I played it the first time, and I played the first class, and then there were like 2 classes when I started, and I think now there's 5. And so I played it, and I did a couple episodes, and then I sort of forgot about it, and then I was getting comments and tweets or whatever, messages from people that was like, there's this class you haven't even played on your Trove, like, and there's new dungeons. They have dungeons now that didn't exist when I first played it, and all that, and the stuff kept popping up, and I was like, well, I gotta see what that looks like. And so it just keeps evolving. And now the dungeons are just like crazy, reaching into the sky, things that look ridiculous, but it just keeps growing. And so it's interesting to know where it was and see how it keeps growing. And now it's free to play, and it's got like in-game transactions, which is not how it was originally schemed, set up to be. So that's really what drove me to play Trove. It's really interesting to watch that process.
That's a good reason to buy a game in early access too. Yeah. It's watching and being a part of a game as it grows, and instead of having everything laid out in front of you, and just support for it in general. And actually, you kind of answered the second half of this question, was giving us a quick review. So basically, we can assume that it's a definite, like, go give it a try.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely veered away from Minecraft. If you want just something that is Minecraft that looks different, it's not the same anymore. It's not focused on the same sort of stuff that Minecraft is, but if you like sort of adventure, dungeon clearing sort of things, it's got some goofy little quirks, and it's got some interesting twists that are worth checking out.
And another question that came up from the live chat is, where did I see it? Oh, what is the worst game you've ever played? That's always a good one. That's when you know it's a good one.
Man, I don't know. I keep thinking it's not fair because I keep thinking of things that are really not bad games. But like this is probably not the worst objective game I've ever played, but the worst experience I've ever had. There was an Xbox Live arcade game called Shadow Complex. That was like a side-scrolling.
I love that game.
I don't know what it was about that game. I'm not good at that sort of two-dimensional map exploration sort of thing. I was awful at the mechanics of that game, and I just got stuck at one point. I don't even know what I was stuck on, but I could not figure it out, and I like rage quit forever at one point. But that's not a bad game. I know that's not a bad game, but I can
see
game.
it. My spouse has failed to complete it as well. They rage quit as well, but I had to draw because I enjoy the writing of Orson Scott Card, despite the fact that he's a horrendous asshole. like he's really good at writing, and the Shadow Complex is the bridge between two of his books.
We had like an entire off segment show that you explained all of that.
Oh, where I ranted about Orson Scott Card.
That's funny.
So this next question, Josh, I think you wrote this one under me. I'm not sure.
I did because I got rid of another one that wasn't really relative.
Yeah, that's fine. So what made you decide to start doing charity live streams? And is there any particular charity that you really love and really want to give more support to?
That one comes probably from Markiplier, really. I mean, back before he started YouTube, we were hanging out and we were both in college trying to figure out, what to do with ourselves. And he had the idea to start YouTube, and one of his... I don't even know how he came up with it. I don't remember if I was there or not, but one of his accompanying ideas was he wanted to raise money for cancer research because I believe his dad had cancer, and so it was close to his heart. And I thought it sounded cool to do a live stream, and he did one or two by himself, and I helped him with one or two. And the thing that made me decide to adopt it, steal the idea for myself, is how effective it is. I feel like there are a lot of 5Ks and there are a lot of charity things that exist that are activities that a certain kind of people would want to do. Like a running or a walking race does not appeal to everyone. And the American Cancer Society, where you do the 24-hour camping outside thing, I forget what it's called, but that doesn't really appeal to everyone. And I feel like the market of video gamers, there's not a come play Xbox for charity. There's no video game themed charitable outlet,
events and stuff like that. Yeah.
And so there are all these people who spend a lot of time on YouTube or on watching their favorite casters on Twitch or playing games and being in the gaming community, who I'm sure would, if they have spare money, would gladly donate it to a cause if they were attracted to something like a live stream.
Yeah.
That just there's no outlet for them. And so I think that's part of the reason that Mark and I on his coattails have had so much success with the live streams. Is this is something where people who watch YouTube videos, gaming videos, would watch the stream for fun anyway, and then it can be used as a platform. You have this audience of people, and you can say to them, here's this great cause, whatever it is, and they, it's just something that doesn't come up in the world of gamers as much as it does in the world of joggers or whatever other situation.
So follow-up question to that. Have you heard of the game called Bloodsport? Or rather, Peripheral. So we talked about this in the last episode. It had a Kickstarter, but Kickstarter suspended it, where it was a peripheral that hooks up to a controller, rumble pack, and every single time the rumble pack rumbles, it drains a little bit of your blood. and the guys wanted to basically have it, tour around Canada and have these massive gaming events where people would, famous YouTubers would be hooked up to this machine and in front of live audiences who could donate money, and they're donating blood. And so you think that would be effective?
I mean, honestly, that sounds kind of cool. I can see why Kickstarter might have had issue with that, I guess. They have some, as far as I know, some pretty strict rules about stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of thing where the people that would enjoy that and would come out to that and would donate money to, to see that or support the cause or whatever, they're a unique niche set of people who, not the usual fare probably doesn't appeal to them. So that sounds pretty sweet, actually.
I would never get hooked up to it, but
no, I bet it's.
I would watch it.
I can just imagine so many things going wrong. But,
yeah, seriously.
Now,
but it'd be with doctors. So,
Rev, did you have any other questions? You only had 3 written down. Did he die?
Oh, we might have lost Rev.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I've been coughing my lungs out.
Oh.
Gotcha.
I've been laughing at appropriate places on my side, but I feel bad now. No, so I could ask the general question, or I could go with one that the audience has asked, which is, what's the most broken game you have ever played? Like, actually just broke it.
Not on purpose.
Not that I played it because it's broken.
Or you played it because it's, I mean, you know.
However you want to take it.
I can't remember the name of it, but there was this, it was a trucking simulator. It's one of like the classics. I've seen videos of it on YouTube by the big YouTubers, but I had a friend, I didn't find it on the internet. I had a friend who was just like, dude, I found this game at like the Play and Trade, and I heard it existed, and I've heard about it. We have to try it.
The legend.
And it was just hilarious. I mean,
that's like,
it's just one of those where like you're driving a 18-wheeler semi truck, and you can go like infinitely fast in as tight of a circle as you want, and it was a good 4 hours of ridiculousness.
I remember watching. I know Yogscast did a game that
they
I
used
think
to do like
the same game,
Trucking Tuesdays.
Trucking Tuesdays, yeah. And I'm almost positive that they talked about this.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm sure they did.
See, so I think we should do one more round of questions, then we'll move on to the rest of the show.
Another question.
You can pick one out of the audience. So, audience, after I ask my last question, throw in some questions, and Tech and Rev will give out 2 more questions. You know how it works. Whatever. Anyway,
ask questions, audience.
Ask questions.
I actually see one that I think is really interesting. If I could just pick it out.
Yeah, sure.
SJ Tomps asks, how long do you think YouTubers can keep their channel popular as they get older? Is that a concern for YouTubers? And I think that is something. I mean, when I have been thinking since I started YouTube about, what if I just make YouTube a career? That's going to end someday. How long does that last? 5 years, 10 years?
Well,
we'll let him answer.
Sorry.
Shut up, Tech.
And I think my favorite example of how people make it work is Rhett and Link. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rhett and Link, but they're pretty big. And their music videos and stuff are pretty funny. But the way that they've grown what they were doing with the music videos and like their joke sketches into the Good Mythical Morning Show, and they have like multiple networks that have multi-million subscribers now, and they have a whole framework where it's not just about them being like young hipster guys making jokes. They developed into, they did what all content producers do. They figured out how to make content that was relevant to them as they got older. And I think their success story is like, I'm really jealous of how they worked it out, and I love their show. I watch Good Mythical Morning all the time. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's basically a video podcast kind of thing. And, and they do. I think Ear Biscuits is their like audio version of a podcast. And then you're right though. It's kind of like it's true for like any business too. Anything, you just have to grow with the times, grow as things go on, and
you have to sort of
change. You have to adapt.
And like I've seen this too with like, because I've been like making let's play videos, and all my old ones are really bad since like 2009 2010. And back then the partnership program on YouTube was really strict, and they didn't monetize anybody, and you couldn't monetize game footage. And there are a lot of these big let's players that sort of came in this first wave, like Nintendo Capri Sun and Lucagen, who's still around, and Deceased Crab, who uploads video occasionally. But these guys were getting 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 views on a video they weren't making any money off of. And now you look at them, and they're sort of still doing the same thing. They're still making the same jokes, but they're only getting like 400, 500, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 views on a video. And as much as I would love to make those types of views on a video that I upload, like I've seen a lot of really big YouTubers sort of decline very fast with how YouTube changes and how it moves. So you really have to like stick to it and really like be mindful of the ebb and flow of the internet.
Yeah. I think at this point too, people have finally, like, especially our generation is very good at adapting with the speed technology advances and everything like that. I think we're really good at just kind of moving along with the different trends and everything like that. Although it is pretty stressful sometimes trying to keep up with it. So my last question would be, for any of the indie devs that are playing like a new game out there, might be listening, are there any do's or don'ts, like things that you would like to see or want to stop seeing in the indie games that you've played or have seen played or anything like that?
Yeah, I guess the thing that I would say if I had to, which I do because you asked. I'm no expert, but the thing that I really think is what makes the indie dev so unique is they shouldn't be afraid to just be really, really weird. There is no reason that you should tone down, if you have really crazy ideas that some people might think are offensive or just really strange. I mean, like Binding of Isaac, we were talking about earlier. That game, if you look at that game objectively, it's a really weird out there scenario, and the gameplay itself is entertaining and it's awesome, and the weirdness of that game is part of the whole experience. I love when an indie developer is just like, this is exactly what I want to make, and I don't give a shit if you think it's the strangest thing you've ever seen. The people who are going to enjoy it will enjoy it anyway, and I love the weirdness.
That is one of the best things of the indie game community. It's just that they don't have to deal with the corporate BS. It's just, they tell you
designed by committee.
We know what people like, guys. Come on.
You need to check out. I know we name drop this guy all the time, but you need to check out Dropsy the Clown.
Yeah, that is a weird one.
Like when you were talking about like weird, like we interviewed Jay a while ago, and we've been keeping up to date with him, and he's making this game about a clown that can do no wrong, and he looks freaky. And it's just a weird game with a lot of cool mechanics that he's putting in.
It's a very charming game.
Yeah, exactly. One of the questions from the audience from Throughout the Stars, other than games, is there anything that you like to do like as a hobby that isn't YouTube or studying?
No an acceptable answer.
I mean, law school is those life-sucking things. So yeah. I'm surprised you can get a YouTube video in edgewise.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I guess cooking would be another thing. I love cooking. I watch a lot of cooking shows and stuff, but that is certainly bottom of the list in terms of time allocation.
Can you do your best Julia Child's impression?
Julia. I said that, and now I have to admit, I have never actually seen an episode of that show. I am fully devoted to the Church of Alton Brown and Good Eats and everything that he stands for. I've never seen the Julia Child show, but I've seen like every episode of Good Eats, and I love Alton Brown.
I watch Gordon Ramsay. Like, he is a savior of food.
So Rev, did you have another question that's from the chat?
There's one that just came in, or I could ask the genital question. How about something
that came in?
Okay. How about something on your bucket list? What's something on your bucket list you'd like to accomplish?
Well, it's entirely unrealistic, but I would love to see everything. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but I want to see as much of the world as possible.
Okay, Jafar.
Yeah. And I was really lucky. My parents loved to travel, and I had, as a musician as a kid, I got opportunities to travel around to do performances and stuff, but I've never been to any of the like Pacific Asian countries. I haven't even seen all of the states, as much as I feel like I've traveled a lot in my life. I would love to see the Pacific Northwest. I would love to see Southwest, the South, the middle part of the country. I've only seen a little tiny bit of everything. I want to see the world as much as possible.
Have you been to Alaska?
I have. I got to go to Alaska.
All right. Because I was about to say, it's like, you can go to Alaska. That's like 8 states in one. Like, you're fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's going to be it. You can, of course, ask questions in the live chat. And if Bob's able to answer, he can answer, I'm sure. Unless he just,
we've grilled him pretty hard.
Plus, he doesn't give a damn. Maybe he started. Yeah. But thank you so much for answering your questions, Bob. And going to stick around for the rest of the show, that's much appreciated. And we're going to get excited about these future indie games. So, what am I transitioning to?
Starting the riot!
Yeah! And this week on Starting the Riot, the game we're talking about is Lumino City. Actually, this is a sequel to the award-winning game Lume, or I'm actually not even sure how to pronounce it, to be honest. It's Lume. It's a puzzle adventure game, and they've been making it for 3 years after that last game came out. And you're right, you mentioned in between segments that it reminds you a lot of a Song for Vigo we talked about several episodes ago. It is actually entirely made of paper and cards, and it's all handmade with little lights and motors. So we talk about like games like this, the amount of passion and dedication that goes into this is amazing. And actually, I see you posting a link in the chat. Here's a link to the actual game instead of the dev site too. But anyway, the game continues where they left off in Lume. Lume welcomes Granddad back into the end of Lume, everything like that, the character, and she is sent into another epic journey, as they say, for her grandfather since he was kidnapped and everything like that. You get to explore all the amazing handcraft and everything like that, and I don't know, I just get so impressed with how people do this stuff. And the game is actually made by why can I not? Oh my god. You want to do it? Oh, no, sorry. State of Play Games. I had it like right in front of me. I'm stupid. State of Play Games. You can find it on Steam and GOG and everything like that. It is currently on sale for $19.99. It is fully released. And it is for unfortunately, it's only a PC and Mac, not Linux, if any of you use Linux out there. Sorry, sucks to be you. That's the theme of the show. Thank you, Bob, for a new...
The theme of this episode sucks to be you.
Yeah, thank you for new inside joke. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what do you guys think of this game? I could go on for days about the whole handmade thing.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
And I always go back to, like I started filmmaking with stop motion, and so stop motion has this like very deep like love in my heart that will never ever go away. And having spent so many hours making horrible stop motion, like I look at this and I know the time that goes into it, I know the passion that goes into it, and then you look at these really shallow depth of field scenes in this game, but like it's in like a what are they called, like an I Spy book.
Oh yeah.
But instead of just looking at it on a static page, you're in it and you're playing it. And I don't know if they were going for that like sort of nostalgic look, and I'm not someone who's all on the nostalgia train to last Yearville, but like I had to come up with something there. But like this just it almost feels like a book, but you're playing it, and it's just, oh my god, like it's tipping all the cool like nostalgia points in my brain that never get tickled.
And on top of the handmade aspect of it, one of the really cool things, first of all, they added like I said, with the mechanics and the mechanisms, engines and things like that, to even add that in with the paper. But also if you watch the video or if you play it, the camera, the way they use the camera, and it doesn't look stop motion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it pans very smoothly. It's not like all choppy like you would think of stop motion and everything like that. And it uses cinematic angles in the camera too. And you're talking about the paper characters' movements is very smooth. Again, not choppy at all like a stop motion you would think. It's just impressive.
Yeah. Well, and technically speaking, I've had the great joy of working with and talking to a lot of local stop motion artists. I think they're called, oh wow, I'm so bad. I hate to say this, but I cannot remember their production team name.
Oh
but like
God.
I'm friends with a lot of them on Facebook.
Not anymore.
And they go the extra mile, because with a lot of stop motion things that you see, like a lot of the Tim Burton movies are done in 20 frames per second. which and the slowest frame rate, just to get some science out to everyone listening, the slowest frame rate that your eye can perceive, that is also the speed of sound without showing, jerkiness, is 24 frames per second. And that's why movies are shot in 24 frames. It saves on film costs and all that, and that's why it was done, and we've gotten used to it. But a lot of stop motion movies are made in 20 frames per second because there's a lot of math involved. And so having a base 10 or a base 20 mathematical formula to figure out how many movements and how many spaces they need to move in a certain amount of time is a lot easier than 24, which is weird. So
that makes sense though, because like even ignoring just the sheer fact that we have calculators, like that definitely explains why stop motion it has that kind of it has that very stop motion-y look,
jerkiness.
So what I'm guessing is they either went the extra mile and did this all in 60 frames per second, which is again base 10 and a little bit easier, but I'm guessing they probably did it in 30, which is why everything looks so smooth. And 30 is the guys that I've seen and competed against in festivals who have just mopped the floor with me, and I have no problem with that because they are phenomenal at what they do it in 30 frames, and they'll have physical human movement in some of them that just looks so, like, you can tell it's stop motion, but you cannot, you're like, I cannot see the frames moving. This is perfectly smooth. And like I know I'm getting the technical side of this for this game, but it these guys know exactly what they're doing, and it's just amazing.
Well, I think, what is it? Oh, Lumino City, like I said, it's a sequel. Lume or Lume is...
You English.
Well, that's not English, so, screw you. Is an award winner. I think they have another award winner on their hands. Again, $19.99 on Steam. You can go check it out for PC and Mac. And State of Play, you did a great job. Anything else you guys want to say about Lumino City?
Did we
want to buy it for me?
It is a puzzle game.
It's a puzzle point-and-click adventure type thing. And I would if I wasn't living off of podcast payments.
Or you mean... So basically what you're saying is you need to go to a peep show.
Sure. Peep show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
This week, we open up our bread boxes and ready our toasters for a game called I Am Bread. And in the game, you are bread. And your journey, your mission, if you will, if you choose
your mission in the kitchen
is to work your way to the toaster, all the while making sure that you are as tasty as possible, because tasty points are the best types of points. This is a... How do I put this? It's horrible.
That's the tasty points are the best kind of points. That's the tagline for the local strip joints in terms of
I'm just saying, like, you can, if you want to be a piece of bread that has fallen on the floor and serve that to the guy that you're trying to make toast for, be my guest. But I recommend playing this game with a controller, because it's just a little bit more intuitive. The default controls on controller are the trigger buttons, all 4 of them. They each control a different side of the a different corner of the bread, and you can hold on to stuff and flip yourself around and twist
then flip your table out of rage.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of like Octodad in the sense that you have control of certain appendages.
Well, you're talking
your bread.
I mean, being the fact that this is made by Bosa Studios, the same people that made Surgeon Sim.
Yeah, exactly. So, and you basically know what to expect. And there's a lot of cool physics involved in the game. Plates will break, and you will fall in certain ways and move certain things, and it is ridiculous. Like, let's be honest. You are like the premise of this game is literally like this is what happened. This isn't actually what happened, but this is what, we can imagine happened in the development team. They're just like, we need the next hard to control game. What did you eat for breakfast? I made some toast. It does look fun, and people definitely have fun playing it. And there are cool mechanics with like grip, and then you have to avoid stuff like water and bugs. I
think it's purposefully. I mean, much like Surgeon Sim, I think they purposefully made sometimes like the grip hitbox, if that makes sense, is kind of like wonky. So you're like, what the. When you're trying to like climb up the like furniture after you fall on the floor, and you have what's cool too, you talk about like tasty points or whatever. Falling on the floor is bad, or rolling in ants or glass or bones. But it's interesting how you make your way across and the things actually stick in the bread. I just found that kind of interesting that they added that little bit.
It's sort of like a ragey Katamari Damacy.
Kind of.
A little bit.
Well, I mean, although it's the opposite goal.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's I should have the price open, shouldn't I? Right now you can get it. It's on sale until December 10th for 15% off, or $8.49 US. Or you can wait until after the sale and give the full $9.99. Such a hefty price. Such a high price for the not $10
really. To give yourself an aneurysm.
Yeah, $10 to play this game. You can get the soundtrack for free. So I mean, guess that's a bonus.
Not really. That music is obnoxious.
Music is obnoxious, but it is it is a fun game. Like it's ragey, but
are you talking about, like Bob was talking about co-op or whatever? Yeah. And if you're into challenging yourself, and he mentioned, he said like kind of like a technical thing as far as the game goes, like trying to just find a way to do it instead of just having your hand held the whole time. If you're into that sort of thing, then this is your game.
Yeah. And this is also a good game for like speedrunners, or I guess, with like what Bob was talking about, like playing Minecraft drunk. If you played this game like super super intoxicated, I think that would make a pretty it would be funny. I'd watch that video.
I haven't heard of that game, but it sounds like the type of game I play.
Yeah. But Rev's like, that's real life, man.
And even though we mentioned this before, it is by Bossa Studios. It's got weird. It only says partial controller support. Who
plays this with a controller? You should just stop.
You need to play with a controller. Like really. Like the keyboard controls are weird. I mean, you can obviously
play with a controller.
What?
You can't play with a controller. How ridiculous! Like Bob was I don't know if it was during a show or between. He was saying that he played Surgeon Sim on a controller. That just seems like.
Oh no, I could not do that.
It's the same thing. Like, how can you play that on the controller? Like the fingers just.
It's more intuitive because it's the 4 trigger buttons. So each corner of the controller, as you would say, is an individual finger. So like with Surgeon Sim, like the fingers were on the keyboard, and you had a little bit more control over that. But in this, like, it's sort of intuitive with the way the joysticks work and to move your piece of bread around. I guess you would say, like, and I'm not a controller guy. I hate controllers, but like it's better on a controller.
Also want to point out that. Talking about weird indie games, so congratulations, boss, on making that point.
Yeah, really.
Where else in the gaming community would you see a game about a piece of bread and actually be a good game in certain people's eyes?
Yeah, if only they threw like puzzles into it.
Well, I mean, I guess it's more like a platform kind of challenge, but
that was
the puzzles. Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to ruin your segue into, even though that I'm not segueing into the game itself, just the next segment, Tech.
Yeah, whatever.
So, I'm just going to have to give you a free smackdown after free fun.
And And tonight on Free Fun, we have I Was on the Throne. That's not a euphemism for the toilet, at least as far as I'm aware of in-game. From Newgrounds, this is a really catchy kind of game. It's an adventure point-and-click made by Disco Fish, who wrote it, and programmed by Skyflies, so congrats to them. It's kind of you start off at your desk and you are trying to solve puzzles, and you end up like I got stuck for the longest time because there's a demon on a box, and I like
out of context you just sound like kind of insane.
Right? But, you know, that's kind of this game. It's definitely puzzle, and all puzzle. Some of it is easier to catch than others. You know, there's a ladder puzzle. That one's easy. But it's fun. It's difficult.
The game makes you go...
Right. And I'm sure that I would have an easier time with the puzzle I'm currently stuck on if I had my browser unmuted, but then it comes through the recording and I don't want to do that.
Oh, was that the music one?
I assume so. I've got like a bunch of buttons that are different colors, I think, that I have to press in order.
I was able to get through that one. That one was pretty easy. Because the way you get through that, I don't know if I want to tell people.
Don't ruin it.
It's pretty easy, Rev. You just suck. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay. So this is the game. The art style is adorable. Like even the demon that pissed me off before the show, I was playing this game again, and I asked Josh. I was like just going off about this stupid fucking demon on a box, and I finally got past it. He's just so cute. I felt bad cutting him in half.
Yeah, I felt when that happened, I was just like, that's not what I was trying to do, game. What are you doing to me? Making me an awful person.
Making me a murderer.
It wasn't the game. Right? That was already done by you.
Oh, okay.
That was an insult, but poorly executed.
The cool thing about this game is that the puzzles are really intuitive.
You.
Well, I mean, for the most part, you look at them, and like the answer is in front of you. Like you don't have to go around and be like, oh, how do I beat this? Like the answers are like right.
I like how you're just like
technically can solve all of the puzzles using only the game itself.
I like how you're underhandedly insulting Rev. Like the puzzles were easy.
I'm not trying to.
Well, this is.
But he's got a point. I'm also not at my best of mind thingies words. You know what? Go play I Was on the Throne, damn it. It's a fun game.
It's free, guys. Actually, and again, talk about games that impress. When people come out with free games like this that have so much work put into it, you know, I mean, they get, at the most, they get ad revenue out of it. Because Newgrounds has ad revenue and they probably sell it to Congregate, but or whatever it is. But it's still, I mean, the fact that we can go and just play amazing games for free is just unbelievable to me sometimes, the way I think about it. And especially when they're on certain sizes or certain, what am I trying to think? Like, how well put together they are, is what I'm trying to say. But you know what else is well put together?
What's that?
Our show,
but this is the end of it. This is the end of it, unfortunately, but because all good things have to come to an end. First of all, I'd like to thank Bob again for coming on the show. If you don't know his YouTube channel, you can go to youtube.com/Muyskerm, that's MUYSKERM, and become one of his bobbleheads, I think is the way he calls everyone. And
I subscribe. So.
Go subscribe. If Rev subscribed, you know it's worth it, because Rev's like a YouTube hipster. For those of you out there who might have any kind of experience in indie gaming, you have anything to do with creating indie games, that's programming, art, music, whatever, or if you know anyone that is, please contact us, because we could feature you. We love featuring. We unfortunately don't have any music this week, but a lot of times we'll have indie video game musicians that will play their music in the background, and we'll shout them out with links and everything like that. So please contact us, and we can feature you. You can go to I'll tell you how to contact us, but first For those of you who are watching the recorded version, we have a live stream every Friday at 9:30 p.m. Where on hitbox.tv/JaShinYa. There's no bumpers, background music, or gameplay footage or anything like that, but you can come and listen to our BS through, between all the segments, and we can chat with you and answer any questions you have, all that sort of stuff. But those of you who are listening live, all you lovely people out there who we appreciate so much for coming, you can check out a recorded version on IndieGameRiot.com. Is where we keep all our backtrack of episodes. And by the way, our RSS feed has been approved by iTunes, so we are on iTunes officially.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I'm going to work on trying to get it on Stitcher Radio as well, in case anyone uses that app on their phone or whatever. So you can check it out through there, IndieGameRiot.com or iTunes. For those of you who want to follow us on Twitter, we give you updates and we'll chat with you. Contact us that way. Our Twitter handle is @IGRPodcast. Facebook.com/IGRPodcast is how to get us on Facebook. We also have a subreddit, reddit.com/r/IndieGameRiot. You can also find us on Steam. We have a Steam group, Indie Game Riot, just search it. And we also have a curator section there. You can check out all the games that have been featured on the show that are also available on Steam. We get that updated fairly often. And finally, the email is all the email contact stuff is on IndieGameRiot.com. But for any general kind of emails, you can always send it to contact@IndieGameRiot.com. Am I missing anything?
Did you mention the Reddit?
I did. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay. Enable the evolution.
Everyone's on top of it right now. I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you again for everyone who came, and say goodbye, gentlemen.
See you next time, guys.
Have a good one, folks.
Toodles. Thank you, Preposterone. What? Preposterone. There we go.
Tech doesn't, or Josh doesn't. Fuck. Okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm logging out. I'm going home, guys.